Welcome back. We're here to preview Saturday afternoon's Premier League match between Swansea City and Everton at the Liberty Stadium. Pascal, start with the home side. Had a good win over Hull last time out.
Yeah, decent back-to-back wins in the league now for them, and that's taken them 4 points clear, in that race to sort of finish eighth, sort of best of the rest in the Premier League. And yeah, it was a good win for them. Obviously, Gomez with 2 goals. That's now 3 goals in 2 games for him, and those goals have earned Swansea 4 points because they proved to be the winning goals in both games. And yeah, a good win. Obviously, Hull, down at the bottom, you probably expect Swansea to win that game at home, but it was a good performance, and obviously it was highlighted by that Gomez first goal, the overhead kick, one of several great goals this weekend. On any other weekend it'd probably be goal of the weekend, but we don't know if it was even in the top 5 this weekend. So yeah, a great performance from them. Solid, and like I said, it good takes them up to a solid position in the league. They're sort of consolidating that 8th place now, and yeah, things look pretty good for Swansea.
Yeah, they certainly do. I think they're on 46 points now and finished with 42 the whole of last season, so they can obviously have improved that, and if they get another 10 points or whatever from that, and that's obviously a massive improvement from what they did last season. We think they had a good season last season. It was decent, wasn't it? Well, Monk's obviously come in, did well, but he's got his first full season now, and he's done really well, hasn't he, in fairness. And like I say, they've got some good games coming up. They play Everton here. Everton, not too much to play for. They're safe, on in a good run of form, and then they play Leicester and Newcastle. I think they play Stoke as well in there, and obviously Stoke are one of those teams. Stoke have fallen off a little bit, but Stoke, West Ham, Swansea battling for that. The group of teams behind Tottenham Hotspur and Southampton in the top 7. So looking at what Swansea have done this season, and like I say, they've got some good fixtures coming up. They've had a tough run of games. They've played a few of the big boys, but if they can win this one and then pick up some more points, then they can finish 8th.
Yeah, what you say about the points total there, it is quite surprising that they've already surpassed last year's, because obviously they lost Laudrup, Monk came in, but I think Monk must be a real dark horse for manager of the year. I mean, people talk about, obviously Mourinho's got to be up there. You look at what Koeman's done in his first year at Southampton, Pardew, his record at both Newcastle and Palace is really good, but I think Monk's got to be in there for sure. Yeah. I mean, there'll be about 4 or 5 managers with a chance, but I think Monk has a really good shout, and I think if Swansea, like you say, if they can pick up maybe 2 wins and a draw from these next 4 games, that'll take them way past last year's total. And considering they lost their star striker in January, they've done that. Gomez has now come to the fore, and yeah, what he's doing with Swansea, just making them play nice football. There's not too much star power there, but they play quite well as a team, and I think he's got to be a dark horse manager of the season for sure.
Should have some money in the summer as well. That Bonnie money, to spend that right, could do well next season. Moving on to Everton, good run of form, isn't it? It's been a poor season overall, but they've won the last 3 in the league now. Last time out against Southampton, it was a big game. Southampton going for dropped off the race for top 4 now. They're looking at 6th or 7th now, battling Liverpool and Spurs. But it was a good win. Phil Jagielka with a goal. It was not too much in the game. Southampton, they're just struggling to touch for goals a minute up front, and Pele's up front, and Tadic has had a decent season, but they're struggling, aren't they, to score. They're still solid at the back though. Southampton, best defensive record in the league, wasn't it? So the fact that Everton did manage to make the breakthrough, it was a scrappy goal, but they got it, and they were without obviously Lukaku for that game. Ross Barkley went further forward as well. He's been wanting to play sort of number 10, hasn't he, lately, and he played up there. He did okay. Still loses the ball a bit too much though, doesn't he? He's got obviously a lot of ability. He played well in that game. The game itself was a bit nothing, but like I say, won the last 3 in the league, and they're safe from the bottom drop now.
Yeah, definitely. They moved 11 points clear of the bottom 3 now, and I think sort of that run obviously has helped massively, because they were in real danger, which is surprising to say considering how good they were last season. But you look at the table now, they're only 5 points behind Stoke in 10th, and like you say, Stoke dropped off a little bit recently. So if they can finish the season strongly, maybe get into the top half, considering where they were, you have to say that it would be a good end to the season and something to build on for next season, because you look at their squad and you think, there's quite a lot of talent there. So do you expect them to improve on that? And you mentioned Lukaku not being there. He could be back for this one, obviously a big player. And you sort of think with, now that they're safe, they might be able to play with a bit more freedom, in the last few months of the season. If he can come back, maybe score a few goals, build up his confidence, then you'd expect him to have a real good season next year, because he's still so young, and I think he's still got a lot of progression in him. Yeah. And I think, if he can sort of come back, play with a bit more freedom, not too much worry about it. They're only left in the Premier League now. That's all they've got this season. So I think if he can play with a bit more freedom, build on that, he should be looking good for next season.
Yeah, obviously it's a tough game at Swansea, but I think Everton have got a good record against Swansea. I think they've lost in 19 league games against them, won 13. So it's a tough game, but they've got a decent record. What's your score prediction for this one?
I think there's not too much to play for here. Both sides, they're safe in their respective positions. They can't really push for either thing, or they're not trying to escape the drop. So I think it could be quite a tight game. And actually, you're going to say a goalless draw. I think it could be quite a tight game.
Yeah, I agree. It was a draw as well. I think there'll be a couple of goals. Like I say, both sides have shown they can score goals lately. Gomez, like you say, and if Lukaku's back, then they might fancy their chances. So I'm going to go 1-1. So you both see draws in this one. Thanks for joining us.